So coming up to follow-up questions. So the first one is that, have you experienced imposter syndrome? And if yes, how do you go about it?
Recently, I've gotten to know that apparently it's not being referred to as imposter syndrome
Okay.
anymore. It's being referred to as the imposter phenomenon.
Okay. All right.
I am not sure, so I haven't done any research on it, so I stand to be corrected. But it's something that I have been facing. It has been unrelenting, honestly, over the past 3 years. It has been unrelenting. So the first time I was introduced to this concept of imposter syndrome, imposter phenomenon, whatever you want to call it, was in my first year of my master's.
Okay.
So initially it has always been my dream to become a forensic psychology practitioner. It has always been my dream. So the moment I was accepted into the course, it was like, Allah, I'm there, kind of. I'll do the course, I'm done. So not what happened. The second I sat on the student's desk, I realized that there are so many things that I don't know. And at the time, I had already had around 5 years, approximately 5 years working experience. So I was already, to a certain extent, at a point in my career where I had some experience, some professional experience. But the second that I went back to the student's desk, I was literally stripped. It was stripped away. So I was there, literally, I felt I know nothing. And anything that I started to learn started to feel as if I was fake, as if I was undeserving of having that position as a forensic psychology trainee, if it makes
Because
sense.
you felt that you didn't know enough.
I felt that I didn't know enough. I felt that there were other people, other candidates who may have been better than me.
Okay.
It was something that I had never particularly experienced. I used to think that the second I get chosen for my master's, I would have reached my tafkif,
Yes.
so my ultimate goal. But the second that I went back to the student's desk, I came face to face with sorry. When I speak, I tend to speak very fast. I realized I got face to face with the truth that there were so many things that I didn't know, and to a certain extent, it was very humbling. So I was very glad that I experienced that. But obviously, without the support of my supervisors and then reading on the concept of imposter syndrome, it would have been very, very limiting because, for example, I used to feel that I was chosen merely based on luck, for example. Especially, I was lucky as maybe not many people applied, or I was lucky because forensic psychology is not that
As
much in
popular.
demand. It's less popular than the other streams.
Speak about organization psychology.
Well, at least it is offered in Malta. Organizational, I know it's not yet offered.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
So at least
That's why
we're a
we're
step
still-
ahead.
Yes.
So it's something that I definitely experienced.
It seems like an overwhelming experience.
It is. The whole journey of the masters is very, very overwhelming. So
And the master's is 2 years in
it's
your
a
case?
2-year
full time.
It's a 2-year full-time
Okay.
program of studies. It was a big decision for me to decide that I was going to literally quit my job and continue my studies, pursue a master's. But it had always been my end goal. So
you stopped.
I stopped working completely.
You did. Okay.
I kept my job at a part-time basis. I used to work
Okay.
a couple of hours during the weekend, but it was literally
Oh.
very, very minimal. And the only reason why I kept my part-time job was because I loved my job too much that I wasn't mentally prepared to just quit.
Okay.
But it was what I always wanted to do. Now, as you may know, it is not easy to pursue your studies in psychology in Malta because The places are quite limited. You need to have had a number of work experience. So for me, it was always a big question mark. And in all fairness, I never felt that I was good enough to earn my place in the course, because I knew how competitive that would get. So you can imagine the second that I got to know that I got in, it was like, I can't believe it, kind of. Why? How is this even possible? And I was very happy. It was still a big decision, because first of all, there's this commitment that you need to make. I remember having the first meeting, the introductory meeting, and thinking that, knowing that I had to come to terms with the fact that my life was going to go on pause for the next 2 years, and that was quite an overwhelming feeling. But I remember making the conscious decision, which I am very grateful for, that I said, listen, this is what I want. I am not going to let my biggest dream crush me. So I always knew that even if it's going to get very, very difficult, I'm not going to let it affect my mental health to the extent that I can't function, because otherwise it wouldn't be worth it. I mean, nothing is, by the time I've learned that nothing is more important, not even my biggest dream.
Yes.
I wasn't going to let my biggest dream turn into my worst nightmare, if I'm dramatizing it here.
No.
But I didn't want to do that. So I said, listen, I'm going to do it, Emma, but I'm going to pace myself so as not to let all the anxiety, all the feelings of overwhelmment that I was feeling kind of cripple me. I said, I'm going to do it, but I am going to keep myself as level-headed as possible. I knew that it was going to get tough. I knew that there were a lot of sacrifices that I had to make, even in terms of financial sacrifices. I mean, having to stop working for 2 years when you would have gotten used to getting paid.
And
Month.
is it needed?
What do you mean?